It's Victory Monday, y'all! And just like we like to do on this channel, we're coming to you with the Bears-Steelers grades with some other highlights and important pieces of information from the game. Start things off, though.
Man, I tell you what, it takes a village. It takes a village. And I'm talking about players, I'm talking about coaches, I'm talking about training staff, I'm talking about everybody in this building. Everybody. And here we are towards the back half of the season, and our depth is being tested. All right? It would have been so easy to walk. Man, how are we going to win this game? We got no linebackers.
What are you talking about?
We got no linebackers. How are we going to win this game?
Yeah.
You guys don't bat an eye. Jonah Jackson goes down for a minute. Luke Newman steps up. Theo's down. Ozzie steps up. Man, I can keep going on and on and on and on, man. Credit to you guys. That's number 8.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
number 8. All right? I got 2 game balls here. 2 game balls. Number 1 is this. Like I said, man, we had a lot of guys go down on defense. This guy stepped up. He wore the green dot. He had us going all game long. DJ, come on, baby.
Hey, man, I couldn't do it with everybody in this room, man. Yes, hey, like he said, it takes a village, man. The DBs from the D-line to the special teams to offense, man. We all had each other's back, man, and I appreciate y'all, boys.
Man, I tell you what, this guy's been getting hot lately. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it, but I certainly have. Since the bye week, it's just each week, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. It's going up. Give me a little Marquez Sledge!
Hey, I just want y'all to know I appreciate everybody in this room, man. Let's keep going.
Yes, sir.
Hey, breathe on in now, breathe on in. Good, better, bad.
Good, better, bad.
Never let it rest.
Never let it rest.
Good gets better.
Good gets better.
Any better gets better.
Any better gets better.
Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bears.
That's right. The Chicago Bears are 8-3 and atop the NFC North. Sole possession, only a half a game ahead of the Green Bay Packers and a full game ahead of the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a gauntlet coming down the stretch. It's going to be tough, but the Bears have every opportunity ahead of themselves. They just need to keep winning and stacking those wins and being diligent in doing so. If you haven't heard the story of DeMarco Jackson, it's a fun one. Tenure in the league. He's been around for about 7 years with the New Orleans Saints, and he's got a newborn baby, 6 months old, teething. And anybody who's been a parent, I've been a parent. It's been that's a rough period. That's one where you get a little bit of stress and a little bit of sleep, very little bit of sleep. He gave all credit to his wife. I love these humble guys. Gave all credit to his wife this week. He said, "At my job," referencing playing football. So I love that. At my job, I knew I was going to take on a bigger role. She took over the responsibilities in the household. He was waking up early and barking his cadences, his play calling, barking them in the mirror, practicing, getting ready to have the green dot to be the middle linebacker for the team this week. I thought that was pretty cool. He took it seriously, and it paid off for him. Huge game for DeMarco Jackson. My apologies. I had to go back and check. He's only been in the league 4 years, but still. Career back up, getting his opportunity, and I love it. So here was the injury report before this week. And then during the game, you had Tyreek Stevenson go out, and you had Ruben Hippolyte go out, all in the first half. So you had to have guys step up, and that's after you already have Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon ruled out, Noah Sewell, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, TJ Edwards, and Tremaine Edmonds. We were already decimated, and these guys go out during the game. And then in the middle of the game, Jonah Jackson goes out for about 20 plays, and Luke Newman needs to step in. So just like Ben Johnson said, these guys step up. Amen Ogbongbemiga didn't get enough credit there, but you'll see in the stats here, he played a big role as well. So this is how it looked mid-game. I mean, you had Tyreek Stevenson coming out of the game. You had Ruben Hippolyte coming out of the game on this defensive side. You were decimated. We rolled with Amen Ogbongbemiga and DeMarco Jackson for the entirety of the game. Carl Jones, very little, but those two really filled a huge role when they're 5th, 6th on this depth chart for linebackers, 4th, 5th at least. And then you got Tyreek Stevenson coming out. You had Nick McLeod step up, who didn't have a great game, but he filled in, and these guys played pivotal roles. This was a big game for these guys to establish that our depth could carry us in a game that That wasn't an easy one. This was not an easy one. For a lot of critics saying the Bears hadn't won against tough teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, their defense was fully healthy and their offense was looking really good. They were not an easy task. So now the Bears stand. This was, I mean, once we got through a little hiccup there in the second quarter into the third quarter, the Bears took over in the second half and it looked a lot better. So there was your win probability during the game. But the Bears now sit at 8-3, Packers 7-3-1, Detroit 7-4, Minnesota down at the gutter of the NFC North now at 4-7. So here's your upcoming schedule. As we all know, this Friday we have the Eagles, and then we go to Lambeau for Week 14. That game has been flexed to be the afternoon game now. The NFL sees that as a pivotal and important game. Then we have 2 at home, and these are going to be really important games there against the Browns and the Packers on the road to the Niners, and then January 4th, the finale at home versus the Lions. So the Bears have it within their power to control their own destiny. All right, let's get into the grades of this game. And this is from last week, Nahshon Wright, but he did not disappoint in the following week. He didn't get a game ball again, so neither of those games he got a game ball, but he had the highest defensive grade from this game. So here's your defensive players. Nahshon Wright taking all 72 snaps, 82.7 grade. Elijah Hicks only 16 snaps, but filled in really well when he came in. Kevin Byard, 71.8 grade. Amen Ogbongbemiga, 69.1. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, 68.6. Montez Sweat, 67.8. DeMarco Jackson filling in 67.4. So, and Austin Booker, 63.7. The frustrating thing for me down here, Andrew Billings, 30.2. Gervon Dexter, 46.1. A little bit frustrating. We'll get to the defensive lineman in a minute, but really stepped up with some of these guys filling in. You got the defensive line, and the big thing I want to point out here, just here's the run defense down here. I know this is really small on your screen. Pass rush up here. Some of these guys, we can't have the 0 pass rush win rate and 0 pressures. Andrew Billings, Chris Williams, Gervon Dexter, that's not acceptable from our defensive interior. We got to have these guys step up. That's a position of need. I'll get to that in a minute with tweets that I sent out. I'm going to do a new segment where I just quickly roll through my tweets during the 24-hour period of the game, just so I don't forget anything. But, yeah, that's not good enough. Grady Jarrett played a little bit better. He had 1 pressure. Austin Booker playing decent, 16.1 pass rush win rate, the highest on the team. Montez Sweat with the most impact, though. A couple easy ones against the tight end, but he took advantage of them, so that was huge. And then on the run defense, some of these guys, same guys at the bottom: Andrew Billings, Grady Jarrett, Gervon Dexter, Dominic Robinson. That defensive interior, we need a lot of help there for the run defense. Some of these other guys stepping up big time, though. Amen Ogbongbemiga right up there near the top. So, a little bit of help needed, but they were able to get through this game and stack the win. On the coverage side, I'll tell you, if Nahshon Wright didn't have those first 4 games, if he didn't have that first quarter of this season where he was really not great in coverage, he would be Pro Bowl worthy at this point with the pass breakups, the interceptions, the couple of dropped interceptions. NFL passer rating in this game of 31.9, which is phenomenal. 4 receptions against him, but for a whopping total of 20 yards. So he's limiting the impact. The one negative thing from the cornerbacks right now, Tyreek Stevenson in his 8.5 games has the most yards against him in the league at 528. It's not even close. He has allowed so many yards against this defense. It's frustrating. So there's the debate. When he comes back, when Jalen Johnson comes back, is Nahshon Wright or Tyreek Stevenson the right one to set on the other side? Well, I don't think it's even comparable. With Tyreek Stevenson not being hip to hip, not being close in coverage, he needs to move to more of a safety type of role, a strong safety type where he can do what he does best, and that's hit. Because right now he's not staying close. His cushion with his receivers is not good. He's given up 528 yards, and second is like 450 yards. It's not even close. And Nahshon Wright with 5 interceptions on the year, an additional 5 pass breakups, couple dropped interceptions, he's looking pretty phenomenal. So I don't think you can pass up on Nahshon Wright. You have to play Nahshon Wright the other side of Jalen Johnson. I think there's still a role for Tyreek Stevenson on this team, but he's definitely not earned that second contract at this point. So these are your overall coverage grades. And really, Nahshon Wright is helping this team to get through until Jalen Johnson gets back. All right, on to the offensive side of the ball. And the big thing from this game, people are talking about the time to throw is way down for Caleb Williams. I want to talk about his adjusted completion percentage was fine. He's a little bit off still. I mentioned that on the live broadcast with some of you guys on there that just some of those throws a little bit behind, a little bit frustrating, but you can see the progression coming along. The nice thing about adjusted completion percentage, it takes away these throwaways, so those throwaways are taken out. So defensive pressure's 8, only 1 sack, so he's still 6th/7th in the league at pressures turned to sack on the year, which is right around the same point, right around 12%, which is phenomenal. He's not taking a lot of sacks this year. He did take the one in the end zone. It was ugly, I know. It's one bad play. He probably had 2 or 3 bad plays the whole game. They show him with 3 turnover-worthy plays. That is one of them, that fumble in the end zone. The other ones were a couple of errant balls. One of them should have been picked, but wasn't. Glad it wasn't. But other than that, the only thing down this game, the big-time throws. He didn't have the big-time throws, but he looked a lot more effective. 2 for 3 on the deep ball across the middle overall. I mean, none on the right and none on the left. 3 for 6 in between the numbers between 10 and 20 yards. 0 for 3 on the right side. Overall, looked a lot. I think he looked pretty good in this game, even though his grades are going to be a bit down because he fumbled the ball in the end zone. Without that and without the couple of throws that could have been picked, he'd probably be up in the 60s and 70s. So not a bad game for Caleb. He looks very efficient when he gets on a roll. The first series, completely inaccurate. The third series is when he fumbled. Get into the second half and he started getting clicking. And we need to see if we can get that more effectively out of him a lot sooner because he does look good when he gets rolling. As for the entire offense on the day, Jonah Jackson with the highest grade did miss about 20 plays. Came out with his eye got poked, so he got poked in the eye. I thought it was a concussion at first. It looked like he was, kind of wobbly or shaking his head a little bit. But Ozzie Trapillo filling in at left tackle. The debate's going to go on this week, but it's pretty clear, in my opinion, at this point, Ozzie being a drafted rookie and then coming from week 4 to now, playing behind, getting the reps in practice, and now coming out and having the second highest grade in this game. Pass blocking looking phenomenal. He's probably behind Theo Benedict a little bit in the run blocking game, but that will come along as well. He's 6'8", but as long as he can protect Caleb on that backside, that's the most important thing. When you got your 3 offensive linemen as your top 3 greats in this game, and then Darnell Wright up there as well, Drew Dahlman not far behind. We're pretty set up, and you'll see how I'm going to post something here from the Twitter in just a minute. But a good game by all these guys. I mean, really nothing to complain about on offense. Even the guys that had lower grades, the offense looked pretty clicky in this game. Looked pretty good. So here's your offensive line for this game. Will make me a lot smaller. You can see one pressure. Highest pass blocking grade was from Ozzie, and you can see Jonah best overall grade, but his run blocking was phenomenal in this grade. So 2 pressures allowed. They didn't give the sack to Darnell Wright. I think that's PFF being a little bit generous. They say Caleb could have got out of that sack, and he just held on to the ball too long. Could be. So they're giving that sack to Caleb, but I think Darnell Wright really let his guy through way too quick. Caleb could have avoided that. He could have tucked the ball and taken the safety. Either way, that was a tough one. So Darnell Wright got a little bit of a favor on that one, but overall, the line on the year, second highest pass blocking efficiency for the entire season. The only team higher with the better pass blocking efficiency is Denver. So Denver at 90.0, the Bears at 88.2 now. So a significant change from previous years where the Bears were, 24th, 26th, 27th, 29th. And a lot of that has to do with Caleb, but it also, this offensive line has been completely revamped. And the nice thing is these guys are going to be together for at least the next 3 years. This year, 2026 and 2027. That builds cohesion, and that could lead to a Super Bowl window for sure. All right, not a big rushing game, but a very effective when they did. Kyle Monangai, 4 yards per carry, 1 broken tackle, 1.83 yards after contact. Caleb, of course, still doing his thing, 5.3 yards per attempt. DeAndre Swift with one of his lesser days. He had the fumble. I'm not sure that was a fumble. In my opinion, I think they called that way too soon. It was premature. That could be debated. I don't know, but I don't think it was terrible by DeAndre Swift, but definitely this was the air raid game when Pittsburgh had the 32nd ranked defense against the pass. So it was kind of as expected. The receivers kind of took over this game, but this is what I want to point out. Colston Loveland, 147.1 passer rating when targeted, 2 out of 3 contested catches on the day, and DJ Moore, 139.3 passer rating when targeted today. Those guys really took over this game. It looked good. Luther Burden looked good as well. Rome, a little bit of a struggle in this game. He did have the one drop. Not sure where his dad's at or if his dad's going to be tweeting after this one. But overall, the offense looked really good. The receivers looked really good for this game. So as I mentioned, we're just going to do a little thing from Twitter here. This is just my Twitter post just to kind of go over anything, see if we missed it. Bears are 8-3 on top of the NFC North heading into Thanksgiving weekend. Took Matt Eberflus 30 games with the Bears to win his 8th game. It's taken Ben Johnson 11. We have our coach. Of course, the Bears play the Eagles on this Friday. Don't miss that one. I posted here that I started DeMarco Jackson on my fantasy team, that I've got the guts to do that. Really like that story of DeMarco Jackson. I think that's a great story for the Bears, really coming along. Posted this one as well, that Ozzie Trapillo had the highest offensive grade for the Bears on Sunday, filling in with the spot start. Needs to be the starter moving forward, and I do feel that way. Nahshon Wright had the highest defensive grade for the Bears. He needs to start over Tyreek Stevenson with Jalen Johnson coming back. Feel that way as well. Both players stepped up and contributed massively in a game where we needed them. They were both huge in this. Along with that, the wild thing about Nahshon Wright leading the league in interceptions 5 is that he had second most dropped interceptions as well, to go with 5 pass breakups. If he didn't struggle the first quarter of the year, he'd be a Pro Bowl contender. Some of these aren't about the Bears, so we're going to skip over those ones. And then I put up here Clay Harbor, took one of my thoughts, so I just had to put a little something there. Jervon Dexter and Andrew Billings were non-existent in the game. Grady Jarrett was barely existent in a game that was let me go back there. In a game that was actually fun to go back and watch. DeMarco Jackson firing me up. It's pathetic to watch our defensive interior, main focus of the draft for sure. We need to fix that defensive interior position. And then Jalen Ramsey with a legal but completely unnecessary shove of Caleb Williams out of bounds when he gave himself up. Give me a dozen C.J. Gardner-Johnson on his team, being the guard dogs. And then I put here Montez Sweat first, second, and should have been third sacks for against the Pittsburgh Steelers. All of them coming the second half of the game. Montez Sweat has 7.5 sacks in the last 6 games with 21 tackles, 14 assists, 35 total, and 2 forced fumbles. 3 forced fumbles in the last 7 games. Yeah, he's been a monster for us. So anybody questioning having a defensive end one is Montez Sweat. Oof. So Courtney Cronin texted about the offensive line. I just put on top of that, the offensive line is set through at least 2027. And I put, the contracts there. And then I apologize for saying that Ozzie had the highest grade because Jonah Jackson did. So there's kind of a Twitter roundup real quick there too. Very, very good win though. Bears sitting on top of the NFC North, 8-3. Big week coming up. We'll try to pump as much stuff as we can. But I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving week. I'm going to be pretty busy. I'll get as much out as I can. There's going to be stats and stuff to go over. This is a heavy part of the season. I love it. I'm grateful to be a Bears fan right now. I'm grateful the Bears are winning. It's a lot of fun for us. With that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you don't mind hitting that like button, subscribing, sharing with your friends, anything to help the channel grow. You guys have been a huge part of this, and I do appreciate you. Until next time, Dull Bears, bear down.
Bear down, sports making Chicago.